The Rules to Break by Richard Templar, Rule 10. Have something to say for yourself. Here's something I get asked about frequently. If you're fundamentally shy and find it hard to make friends, social occasions can be very daunting. Whether it's talking to people generally, or specifically members of the opposite sex, or senior managers at work, it can be a terrifying prospect. What will you say? What if you dry up? Suppose you make a fool of yourself. I have to declare upfront that this isn't a difficult I struggled with myself. I'll talk to anyone me. Some might even say I overdo it. But I have had many friends who face this problem, sometimes daily, and I've seen how crippling it can become. I have also frequently watched people at social gatherings to see how they deal with making polite conversation. And I can tell you that the people who are most successful at it are the ones who aim not to talk, but to listen. All you need are a few questions to get the other person started and then let them do the talking. Sooner or later, unless they're very deeply tedious, they'll say something that really catches your imagination. And you can go off script and ask them for more information. Once you're engaged in this way, you'll probably find that you start joining in, and before you know it, you'll be engrossed in a conversation without trying. But even if you're still a bit inhibited, you can carry on doing more than your share of listening. People love talking about themselves and their thoughts and experiences and ideas. No one will mind you encouraging them to do most of the talking, and most will really enjoy it and appreciate your interest. And people really are interesting, all of them, in one way or another. I remember an old family friend, a generation or so older than me. I used to dread getting lumbered with him at social events. It seemed to me to have a drab job and a drab life. Then one day he started telling me about his theory of spiders and how the reason most of us are afraid of them is because we instinctively recognize that they are alien species, they come from another planet. He really had me hooked after that, I can tell you. I didn't know which was more interesting, the theory or the fact that such an unlikely person should subscribe to it. The other thing about this approach is that it takes your focus off yourself and puts it firmly on the other person. And where you're not thinking about your shyness, you have a far better chance of relaxing and getting stuck into the conversation. If you know who you're going to be meeting, prepare a few relevant questions. I've heard you're a keen tennis player, or whatever. If you don't know who you'll meet, have a standard list of questions you can ask people. Everyone loves to talk about their passions, so try to find out what those are. For example, what do you do when you're not at work? That way, you should barely need to speak at all until you're ready to. And in the meantime, well, everyone likes a good listener. Rule 10. If you find it hard to talk, try listening.